This is the partially composted previous vintage grape waste from the Margaret River Winery. I was explaining earlier what we're doing with the 2012, the current fresh grape waste. This is 12 months old, and it's been through the initial process of partial composting, and it's valuable to us almost immediately as a mulch rather than a compost, because it's a lot of organic material in it, quite low in nutrients such as nitrogen and so on. So we tend to use this material as it is, as a surface mulch in our vineyards where we need to put a cover onto the soil under the vine to provide to protect the soil from direct radiation of the sun and so on, and it helps us to retain soil moisture. And if we put it on in a thick enough layer, we can actually suppress weeds and reduce the need for other weed control methods such as herbicides. So this is there's a lot. We generate a lot of this waste material, but we use it all, and initially as for soil moisture retention and for weed suppression. This material, for example, we've produced at our Margaret River Winery, and we're just currently transporting it down to our Mount Barrow vineyard, which happens to be very low in the soils in our Mount Barrow vineyard are quite low in organic material. So we're trucking a lot of this down there to improve those soils. We do use some of this material. We treat it further by adding animal manures and other forms of organic matter and composting it further to get it to a more nutrient-rich state, and in a state where it's biologically active, so we can get some immediate benefits for the vines when we put it on particular blocks. That process will happen from now on. We'll take some of this material and compost it further, and we tend to use that material in young blocks and where we're developing vines, or in soils that are very not only low in organic matter but also very low in nutrients.
And this has long-term benefits. We're kind of adding them on the vineyards to develop it long-term. Can you tell about that?
It's all beneficial, and it happens to allow us to capture all the great waste that was originally, initially just being trucked off the site for no particular use. But we've captured that waste stream. We're turning it into useful material, and this material here is. I was explaining that we're using it more immediately as a mulch, but that material going out to the vineyard provides medium and long-term benefits for soil improvement. Just that organic matter adds huge benefits just by simply placing it in under the vine. In addition to the soil moisture retention, that organic matter is incorporated in the soil by worm activity and other biological activity, and the whole soil and root environment is improved by that organic matter over a relatively long period of time. We need to keep adding and building.
And how long have we been doing this process? How many years, or when did we first start doing this?
We were first serious about capturing and retaining this waste from about 2005. So we've been putting this material into our vineyards since 2005, 2006. So we're already into a cycle whereby we're adding more material to blocks that we'd already added it to. We're in a 2 or 3 year cycle of continuously adding this material to the vineyard. I was explaining before that we can do extra composting and enriching of this material, and that gets that material in a state that's more immediately beneficial to the vine. And there are plenty of blocks that we use that material for. So as great Marc partially composted, we're using a lot as mulch. Further work with that, we use it as a compost, a nutrient-rich and biologically active compost. And we can even go further than that. We use this partially composted grape mark as the base material for our biodynamic mulches. And it might be 25% of this material is used as the base, and we build on that with straw, green material, animal manures, rock-derived minerals, and also adding in biodynamic preparations. And that will happen here from about mid-July. We'll take some of this material, build our biodynamic compost layered heaps, and we'll spend about 3 months mixing and turning that, and that'll go out straight out into our biodynamic blocks. So we've turned a waste product into an extremely valuable resource for our vineyards, which is all part of our pursuit of becoming more sustainable and less dependent on synthetic chemicals and fertilisers and so on, and just adding elements. What we're trying to do is improve the whole system and get the vine into a state, or the soils into a state where the soils are biologically healthy and active, and there's a lot of biological activity, generating and recycling and cycling nutrients in the root zone, and accessing the nutrients that are already available in the soil rather than add them, indiscriminately out of a bag. So we've, as I was saying before, about 4 or 5 years into this process, but it's never ending, and but very satisfying to be able to capture and retain and make the whole operation more sustainable.